All right, we are going to go ahead and start writing our paragraph. Hopefully, you realized that you already probably wrote some kind of an attention grabber. If you look back at your documents, the packet of documents I gave you an extra page that looked like this, a DBQ thrash out page that we worked on for the past 2 days. Under number one, when we wrote our what's going to become in our debate, the overview of your reasons, this will be your opening statements. The very beginning of what you wrote could become your attention grabber. So use this DBQ thrash out page. We are also, during this process, going to need to use our background essay. So turn to the page in your packet that has the map on it. It says Hammurabi's Code, was it just? This is our background essay, the first essay we read. We're going to use the notes that you took in the margins, and we're also going to use the notes that you took on your thrash out page right here at the top to write your opening paragraph. So we're moving a little slowly here. You're going to come into your document with Hammurabi's Code, was it just or was it not just? And you have your background essay out and you have your thrash out page in front of you. Make sure you've got those items. Pause if you need to right now to get those items ready. You're going to take a look at the thrash out page and see what your group already wrote. If you already started with some kind of a attention grabber, then you can type that in right now. Make sure that you indent by hitting tab to begin, and then type that attention grabber in there. It could be something that was extremely shocking to you or convincing. Some of you looked up the definition of just and you put that as your attention grabber. There's a variety of ways to start your essay. Next, we're going to begin to write some background information. This is assuming your audience has never heard of Hammurabi or Hammurabi's Code. We need to go to the background essay where we took some notes already. Look at the notes that we've taken in the margin. You read the paragraph and you restated the main idea in your notes. So we can take those restated main ideas and turn them into sentences in our own words, and that will become the background part of our opening paragraph. So I wrote that Hammurabi was the king of Babylon 4,000 years ago. Clay tablets told about life in Babylonia and his military campaigns. I wrote that victories in many battles led Hammurabi to rule most of Mesopotamia. So you can see the kinds of notes that I took in the margins. I read through those notes and I decided which pieces of information I thought were very important to include in my background, this part of the paragraph, and there were some parts I chose not to include. So what I'd like you to do right now is look at the notes that you've taken in your margins and see if you can write some sentences on your own right after your grabber that include the background information about who Hammurabi was, where he ruled, when he ruled. Talk about his law codes. Why did he create these law codes? So go ahead and I'd like you to pause the video for a moment and write some of that background information. All right. Hopefully you've written some background. Mine looks like this. I just summarized who Hammurabi was, where he was the ruler, when, and then I talked a little bit about the time and place. And I talked about his law codes and why he created the law codes. All right, next, we're going to look at another document. We're going to look at a guided reading document. Guided essay document that I provided. It's the very last page of your packet. I accidentally did not copy the second part of this, but you've got the part you need for the introduction. So we've got our grabber. We have our background information, the year, the place, the number of laws. Now we're going to restate the question. We're going to restate the question in our own words. We're not going to write Hammurabi's Code, was it just? We're going to restate it in our own words after your background. Pause the video and give it a try. See if you can restate the question in your own words right now. Okay, I have restated the question here, as you can see in my own words. Now we need to define any terms that you feel might be confusing or that need to be defined for the people, your audience. In this case, I would say it would be the word just or justice. So I defined that this way. You can put your own definition there for the word justice. The final part of this paragraph is, if you look at the guided essay portion, is going to be your thesis and your roadmap. That's what I was calling the chicken foot the other day. The chicken foot is the part that starts with the purpose of this essay. And once you've typed that there, now you have your complete and final version of your introductory paragraph. You have an intention grabber. You have your background information. And then we restated the question. Whoops. This part restated the question and defined any key terms. And finally, and most importantly, we supplied our thesis statement. So if you've done all that, you've done a great job and you're ready to roll with your background paragraph. You can watch the next video in a minute to see what's next.